Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about how good is an R3 as a sport tour or as a bike for long distance, kind of American highway, like higher speed kind of travel. So the other day I rode this, I don't know, it was probably like an hour and a half each way. Where I was going, and it was just across the interstate, and so today I'm going about an hour and a half, and then I've got about an hour and a half back, so it's about so that's about, I don't know what, like, and then, you know, in a couple days I'll be doing it again, and so it's like we got, I think he's I think this is a naked BMW 1000. Rocking the shorts, dude. Squidding it up. Yeah, so I've been riding this bike for extended periods of time at higher speeds, and you know, a lot of people like to say the small bikes, the R3s, the Ninja 400s, your CBR 250, whatever it is, right? Can't actually be used in America because we have too high of speed limits, we have too long of distances to travel, things like that. So, I mean, I'm in the American Southeast, and you know, going down a major interstate here, this is I-40, and you know, I'm comfortably cruising 70 miles per hour, about 7,400 RPM or so, 7,500 RPM on this R3. And you know, it's not amazing. I have a lot of wind, that is true. And this is a higher windshield than stock. But you know, it's a pretty hot day. It's about 90 degrees out right now, so it's kind of nice to have all the wind on you. And it really doesn't bother me. The big things about riding a small bike like this one specifically are that I made the ergonomics of this bike much worse actually for these long rides, because I've got aftermarket Vortexes, which 0 out of 10 recommend if you plan to take your bike on really long trips like this. And then also relocated foot pegs that have made it higher and kind of like more sporty. So definitely not helping myself there. This bike goes to the track, and so I just don't want to sit there and change the ergonomics of it, you know, all the time. Plus, when it's short rides, it tends not to bother me. So, number one thing bad about riding this R3 is the ergonomics. If you want to ride your R3 for longer times, definitely don't mess with the ergonomics like that. Having some kind of storage definitely is nice. You can take a couple things with you. And so the other day when I rode, it was about, I did it during rush hour. It was about an hour and 15 minutes or so. So I was kind of, had some times where I was stopped for a bit, where traffic was just jammed. Sometimes I kind of weaved through it a little bit, right? So I did about maybe 150 plus miles or so, give or take. And I filled up with gas, and it was 1.8 gallons of gas. After doing that, plus riding to like start this video and stuff, 1.8 gallons of gas. So I mean, I was averaging about 70 or so mpg, at least. So it's pretty crazy, where it's like, you know, you think about the consumables, right, of trying to do a longer trip, and it's like you got tires, brakes, gas, oil changes, whatever, all this stuff. And on a bike like this, I mean, the tire consumption is minimal. And these are Pirelli Diablo Rosso 2s, gonna change them out to 4 soon, but it's like the tire consumption is minimal. They last a good long time. I'm actually trying to take some of these longer trips now where I'm going, you know, an hour and a half there and back in a day and stuff, because it's like I want to wear out these tires to get them swapped out for better ones for the track. So you know, that's kind of my reason for doing this. It's not my first choice. If I could choose anything to do this out of my garage, I would take my FC07, but I figured let's wear down these tires before we go to the track and try to replace them. So here you can see we're getting more towards like normal cruising speed for a lot of highways, like 75, 80 miles per hour. So cruising more at like 8,000 RPM when we get up there. But you know, some parts it's like people start going faster and faster in certain areas of highway, and you know, the R3 has enough to keep up with it and honestly do it. Yeah, you're kind of pushing, you know, you don't have a ton more rev range. You kind of wish you had like a 7th gear to bring the RPMs down maybe a little more, but this is stock gearing on this bike. It does have a tune and an exhaust, but you know, it's really not going to be changing my RPMs that I'm going to be cruising at a highway on. So anyway, I feel like I've heard lots and lots of people say that you can't do it on an R3, you can't do it on these small bikes, and I'm just here to say, you know, if people are trying to do it and they're excited to buy a smaller bike, you absolutely can. And it's actually very cheap to do because your tire consumption is minimal. You know, if you got 10 bucks of gas, you can ride all day. And so it's just kind of nuts. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I'm just gonna keep cruising for a little bit, and maybe we'll like time lapse this video and just let you see cruising on an R3. So I'm gonna keep talking again. A couple more things that I've found from riding extended amounts of time on a highway. You know, you think about a lot of Harley guys in the Harley groups. When you see them on the highway, and honestly in general when you see a lot of motorcyclists on the highway, they tend to occupy the left lane, and that's partially to guard themselves from, you know, right now I've got cross traffic can come across me. They want to, people who want to swerve over from the left lane to make an exit, whatever, right? And I'm aware of that. You know, this isn't a super high traffic day and stuff, so I'm just kind of chilling. But I have found, you know, one of the things that I had concerns with riding on the highway was initially debris on the road, right? Because like you come across tractor trailer tires that are coming apart, or you know, things people drop, like especially when I see someone with kayaks strapped to the roof of their car, bikes on the back of their car, or people with like truck beds that have a bunch of crap in them. Just get around them, man. I'm not dying because, you know, your bicycle fell off or you launched a kayak at me and I was just sitting there cruising behind you. So definitely would say watch out for things like that. Now, you do have some agility being on a motorcycle, but something I found that's been more problematic for me, or more kind of like just as something I'm considering more often, is actually surface conditions of the road, because a lot of these roads around here are under construction, and so, you know, as I'm riding these interstates and stuff, where maybe I'm used to being in them in a car and I'm just not as aware that the surfaces and some of these bridges will really throw you around, or, you know, someone tearing up the road left like a deep groove where it's like just designed to catch a motorcycle tire, and you got to be careful, especially at night. And you know, because I'll ride out here in the day and ride back at night, and so it's just like, wow, you know, and you hit some of these bridges like this, where almost no movement, right, dead smooth, but then you come to some of them and they just throw you around. I went across one bridge where it like launched my butt off the seat. I mean, it was some serious you know, unsettling my suspension and putting me up in the air, and it's kind of hard to see it as you approach the bridge, what the conditions of the bridge might be. So those are just two additional things I found from riding these extended kind of times on an interstate. You can see an R3, I mean, 75 going uphill, got a little bit of a breeze, like it's a little bit windy of a day, 8,000 RPM. I mean, the bike's plenty capable of it, top of 6th gear. So anyway, just wanted to make this video to say, if you want to take a long trip on your R3, on your Ninja 400, on your low CC bike, go ahead and do it. I mean, I don't personally take super long trips on an interstate on a 250, like a CRF 250, because it really has struggles just to go 70 miles per hour. But if you're on a bike like this, the R3 more than capable of doing, honestly, like 100. The R3 can do 100. And something kind of to keep in mind is, unless if you have a speedometer healer or you've changed your gearing or anything like that, the speed you're seeing is probably wrong. Like, motorcycle speedometers are usually several miles per hour high, so, you know, you think about how fast is traffic going on any given day, and what you're really seeing here. I mean, I'm keeping up with traffic, I'm passing occasionally, I'm occasionally getting passed by someone in the left lane, so I'm going like probably about average what you'd see people going out here. So anyway, if you were thinking about making that trip, go ahead and take that trip, and leave a comment below if anybody's taking big trips on low CC bikes. But anyway, that's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed.